What are the most engaging parts of competitive Fortnite? Is it a fan favorite winning? Is it a famous clip?
Shit on! Shit on! Dance! Dance, bitch! Dance!
A solo clutch?
You might have to drop him. He's out of mouths. Nice!
Place one more. Cracked him.
Let's go!
How about spawn fights?
Nice. So easy.
They all have the ingredients of a great story.
Get the out! You washy boys! Don't ever fucking contest me because you'll get 1v3 like that! Loser!
Great characters. Conflict.
He's only 1 HP, I promise you. Dead, let's go! We're so much better. Fuck these dog shit ass players, man.
Fuck these kids, dude.
These kids are ass, bro.
And this may have been the best one.
Like all great spawn beasts, they went back and forth on social media. It was total war.
Here is the history of Tfue and Scoped versus Chap and AV at the Grotto. Chapter 2, Season 2 was legendary. New POIs, bosses, mythics. It did have one issue. Controller players.
What? Controller player? That is a controller player!
This was a peak time for aim assist. So veterans like Tfue and Chap looked to play this advantage.
Bro, I'm so good, Kayvon.
Tfue picked up Scope.
We shouldn't risk going down to this kid. Savage literally just got put in the top.
Chap picked up AV.
At the beginning of Chapter 2 Season 2, I was looking around to try to find a duo at the time. I've always watched Chap. I watched him play World Cup. I watched him play Summer Skirmish. I used to study his games. And at the time, he was looking for a duo. We played this kind of third-party search and destroy tournament together. And he liked the way I play. He knew I was playing good in solo cash cups. He knew I was dominating that season, knew I was playing really well. And he wanted to play with a controller player and he wanted to try me out. So I just DM'd him. I was like, hey, you want to play with me? You want to see how we play? And he was down.
But unfortunately for both these teams, this is not where the similarities ended. Both coveted the same drop spot, the Grotto. Like all of this season's power POIs, it had a boss with a vault and a mythic weapon, Brutus's drum gun, which was unstoppable on height. This was a valuable POI
because these had a guaranteed launch pad at them, 5 spread across the map. This meant that all of the teams who landed in these spots not only had mythic weapons, but guaranteed rotations.
So they fought over it in scrims, in cash cups, and on and on.
Laser. Then, AV, dog shit.
Like all great spawn beasts, they went back and forth on social media.
Bro, get fucking shit on. What the fuck are you doing, bro? Fuck out of our grotto and learn your goddamn lesson.
It was a total war.
The off-spawn fights between me, Chap, Tfue, and Scoped is something that a lot of people remember. I still have people today coming into my chat and saying, like, I remember the good old days of you fighting Tfue back at Grotto, and I remember the Grotto spawn fights. I remember this and that. And I think I'm super happy to have been a part of that, even though it was very stressful. There's a lot of bad moments, a lot of good moments. I mean, it was crazy.
Cracked one. One shot. He's dead.
I see the other ones on their main.
24.
I'm out of. Oh! Shut up!
Then the craziest thing happened. They were placed in the same heat.
So going into that heat, we obviously knew Scoped and Tfue were in our heat. We were really confident that we could win any heat that we were placed into if we weren't placed in the same heat as Tfue and Scoped, because fighting off spawn is always a risk. You don't want to risk dying out of the air. You don't want to risk wasting your games, and because if you waste one game, you're obviously at a disadvantage compared to everyone else who has 6 games to play. You guys just have 5. We went into it with the idea that if we had to swerve, we were gonna swerve.
But they beat the odds. Scoped and Tfue won the heat, and Chap and AV came third.
At the end of the day, we made grand finals. It doesn't really matter if we fought them off spawn. If we didn't, we pushed through and we ended up making grand finals, even though we had to play with way worse loot than what we intended to play with. But since we were good enough, we managed to make it work.
Each team making grand finals, and the hype was getting insane until Chap and AV put their ego aside and landed a split drop south of Lazy
On the
Lake.
other side of things, a little bit of false advertisement in the name. Grotto Chap is not going to be at the Grotto.
And it worked out for them. They finished 4th. Tfue and Scoped were contested at Grotto in Grands, and while they had great moments, they had some lows too, ending in 16th. Tfue's last ever FNCS and a high water mark in the careers of all involved, and thus ended North America's greatest spawn beef.